Cenk's saying they can't even do that. They're not even, because of this stupid rule that the Democrats are instituting themselves. I just got this message from someone. Now, tell me what you think of this. You're confusing the PayGo Act of 2010 with the PayGo House rules. So, no, I didn't think I was. In fact, I spoke about both of them. There's the PayGo Act of 2010 and then the PayGo House rules. Okay. How do you think the Republican House was able to vote in the tax scam for billionaires? They used the PayGo rule to waive the PayGo Act requirement. So now our progressives in the House can do the same to rule on progressive legislation like Medicare for All. We can waive the PayGo Act using the PayGo rule. So what this person is telling me is that the PayGo rule allows you to waive the PayGo Act. They are two different things, as we noted before. And so now this person's telling me that the reason why the progressives voted for the PayGo rule was because that would allow them to then waive the PayGo law, which is an act, they call it an act, to pass progressive legislation that would raise the deficit. And if you got rid of the PayGo rule, all we would be left with is the PayGo law or the PayGo Act, and you could never waive it. So if that is true, that does change things. And if that is true, could the progressives do a shittier job of fucking communicating that? Why did it take a message from a stranger on fucking Twitter for me to understand this? If this is the case. This is the case.
I'm still waiting, because when have I seen Nancy Pelosi serve the people?
Again.
Will you show me the example that Nancy Pelosi did something? Because all they ever herald her for is how she got Obamacare.
That's right.
Passed. And what is Obamacare except a Republican health care system?
It's a right-wing giveaway to the health insurance companies. So this person says at least the progressives, except for Roe, Tulsi, and AOC, understood the situation and passed the PayGo rules for this Congress. Thank God. So, again, this is just a message and if that is the case, that would make sense then. If this is the case, that would make sense. Unlike before, we kept saying this doesn't make sense. So this actually makes sense. Before it didn't. So I'll look more into this. But if this is the case, once again, the progressive Democrats, the worst communicators in the history of the world. This is the first thing you're voting on. The whole progressive community's up in arms about it. And it takes a message on a Saturday afternoon on Twitter from a stranger for me to understand it. Cenk Uygur didn't understand it. That is the Justice Democrats. I didn't understand it. Rod didn't understand it. Steph didn't understand it. None of the articles I read about this understood it.
It wasn't like we haven't been reading all about it all week.
Nobody at the Young Turks understood. Nobody I've seen talk about this fucking said this. No one, including the progressive caucus chairs, didn't say this. They just said we're going to try and get rid of the law. They didn't say we couldn't waive the law without the rule. No one said that before. So again...
But you're still putting your trust in Nancy Pelosi to actually do that.
You're
still allowing her gatekeeper privileges.
Yes. Bernie Sanders and Jeremy Corbyn are Russian. Gerald Stein is Russian. I thought I just wanted Medicare for all. No, Russia made you think that. It doesn't take a genius to predict it. I predicted it. It doesn't take a genius to predict what happened. All it takes is a courage. More important than intelligence? Way more. The smartest guys in the world are out making nuclear bombs. So courage. And so it takes courage to tell the truth about the bullshit Russiagate reporting, which you're never going to get from MSNBC or CNN because those people don't have courage. They sold it for $30,000 a day. I'm not beholden to anyone. And all I'm doing is taking the slings and arrows from the establishment and the MSNBC wannabe YouTubers for telling the truth about this. I'll take that. That's my courage. Much more important than intelligence. Because it doesn't take a genius to see through this. Fucking I see through it. Okay. All right. So throw it over to my panel. What do you got? Any comment on there?
You fell for my article.
Ha ha ha. Rico. Guy's a big. If you go to his Twitter page, it's all right-wing bullshit. I don't mean that right-wingers are bullshit. I mean his stuff is the equivalent of left-wing Russiagate. It's all bullshit. The only people who don't like this are fucked up or right-wingers. Independents like this. I bet you most right-wing boys like this. It's like asking so somehow you guys like Sarah Palin because she was attractive, but you don't like this? I think you might be a homosexual if you don't like that. Nothing wrong with being a homosexual. Are we anti-gay? No, and the only people who say we are queers and faggots.
He says,
I think Arno needs a few napkins after that. Pramila Jayapal and Mark Pocan, they're the progressive co-chairs. I never even heard of Mark Pocan before. Did you?
No.
Never heard of that guy. How the F? And it's folks, do you realize what the first thing the Progressive Caucus is doing? This is the first vote. Well, the first vote was to put Nancy Pelosi in as leader. So the first thing they did was they put Nancy Pelosi in as leader, as speaker. Then their first vote was this. Their first vote was selling out progressive ideas. The first vote did this. This is the party that my good friend Cenk has a plan to take over. You couldn't get the Progressive Caucus to stand up for her. This is hurting me. Are you kidding me? This is
Really, Jimmy? It's hurting you? Huh.
It's hurting me in a different in a comedically sexual way.
Oh, just
Yes.
that way?
Yes.
Oh, okay. No
Mhm.
big deal.
Yeah, just that way.
Yeah.
Time that I get my way, steamrolling whatever I see. I'm having a bad day. If you take it personal, that's okay. Watch, this is so fun to see. Oh, despicable me.